what? Um, in the symphony of life, because maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I did go to school partially for music. So I love using musical references. So pardon me. But in the symphony of life, the natural world holds such a profound melody that can soothe even the darkest soul. Well, welcome back to another Mindful Monday. Today, we are tuning into nature's whisper and unveiling how it orchestrates the ultimate stress reliever strategy. So, if you joined us last week, we talked about, and you might remember, the harmonious power of sound and sound healing. Now, what I want you to do is step outside and listen to Earth Song. Unfortunately, you are not in my office with me, but oftentimes, and as I do now, the door is wide open. That's why I am surrounded by nature here. And likely, but not today because it's super breezy and I'm trying to have the best audio quality as possible. I normally have these windows open and I love to feel the breeze, the cross breeze that comes through, and it makes me just feel at one with nature. So, hello there, my fellow wanderers on your path to well being and just finding out what works for you, living your best life. Have you ever felt the embrace of a forest or the caress, the gentle breeze, and found yourself exhaling all your worries? Nature has a way, its own therapy, and the science really shows us that the ability to bring nature into our lives can actually lower your stress. Now, for those of you who have a little science background, I, or we just hear it in the media, right? You hear of cortisol levels. Cortisol levels are associated with stress, and nature actually helps lower and reduce our cortisol levels and brightens and elevates our mood. Not only that, but it sharpens our mental focus and clarity. I don't know about you, but when it's later in the afternoon, I definitely can use a boost of some focus for sure and mental clarity. So let me share with you a story that it might resonate with you, but it's my own personal journey. I remember when I felt like a relentless battle of torment. Now, for some of you who know me, you may not believe it. Or maybe I should say for them who don't really, really know me, you may not believe it. And might think that I am this omen, always at peace and happy. For the most times, that is my affect, but it's something that I had to work on and work towards. This is a constant battle and struggle as life brings about new challenges and new changes in my life to find what we call, or what some people call in the therapies, the window of tolerances or your window of resilience, and be able to expand that. And so, feeling like I was tormented by the task and deadlines of life, one day I just decided to plant my feet. I planted my feet firmly in the forest, which I call my backyard. And honestly, with each step, you feel the ground beneath you just holding you firm. It's alive. And think of like the symphony of the rustling leaves and the whispers of the wind in the trees really brought about a soothness that helped soothe my soul. Now, I know, right? Soothness that helps soothe my soul, but stick with me here. But it brought about a profound peace and clarity. And I do have, if you follow me on TikTok or even on Insta on the Reels, I have a moment where you see me walking and grounding in my backyard. It's such a good tool to use, not only just for stress relief, but if for those of us who travel quite a bit, grounding yourself, grounding that energy and connecting your feet to the ground makes a world of difference. And so when I uncovered the practice of grounding, forest bathing, which I do quite often, that really helped change in and put my life on a different path to where I can have a larger window of tolerance where, not that many things make me activated or hyper aroused where I feel like I need to retreat. But it's just as simple as going outside, uncovering nature. And some of us might know that we like being out inside nature, but maybe don't know the why behind it. It literally, like I said, it lowers your cortisol levels and just brings about a peace. I love a mindfulness practice of mine is just going outside and hearing what I can hear. You might think that there's silence in nature, but when you really listen deep, the orchestra that plays from the birds, the rustling of the leaves, even being able to hear like maybe the grass move or maybe hear an animal or mammal back there, which I have tons of deer, so they're constantly in the backyard. But that really was a turning point for me to be able to uncover this widely available resource that some of us are privileged to have right next door or literally right outside of our backyard. And it's a reminder that we don't have to always seek out tools that maybe are very expensive. The backyard outside walking is very accessible to a lot of people now. I know that there's a caveat depending on where you live. There's not a lot of green space. I grew up in LA, so it was mostly concrete. And so you actually had to search for a green space. But sunshine, you can walk outside and, bask in the sunshine. So that is definitely something that is accessible to you. And so as we are talking about the beauty of nature and the power that it has to really help maybe reframe our day. We've had a really stressful day. And so walking outside can really just be the switch that you need to hack your life, to hack your brain, to hack your mood, to hack maybe what's going on inside of you internally. And so I just want to share a few tips on how you can do this and some ways that you can incorporate this. So you might be thinking, okay, Erica, that's great that you've been able to live this. But again, I live in a concrete jungle for my fellow native Los Angeles. You live in a concrete jungle, but fear not, you urban dwellers. I've been there myself. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. Some ways that you can infuse nature into your everyday life. Connecting back from last week when we talked about sound healing and really cultivating your environment to be one of peace and tranquility. And that helps lay the foundation. So when you do go to the outside world and there's all this stress and chaos, you've got a solid foundation to which certain things won't bother you like they used to, right? And it's certainly a practice. It's not something that I can say can happen overnight, although profound shifts have been known to happen and the universe is magical. And I do not want to take that from the universe. But one of the things you could do is just a daily dose of green. Find your nearest green space. Maybe it's a park, it's a community center, a quiet tree-lined street, whatever it is. Maybe commit to spending 5, 10, 15 minutes there daily so that you can get some vitamin D. You can get your fix of nature's, the sounds, the smells, and really, really engross yourself in the beauty that nature has to offer. The other thing you could do is bring the outdoors in. What about plants? I've got some plants. Lately, I've been killing them. I've been giving them too much love, but introducing plants into your home, into your workspace, they're not only pleasing to the eye, but it acts as a natural air freshener, air purifier, gives more oxygen depending on the plant. Plus, the act of caring for a plant is incredibly grounding and soothing itself. So if you do not have access to green space, bring green in. Window gazing. Well, look, you get some window gazing right now. Taking some moments to look outside, maybe look in my backyard, watch the clouds roll by, observe the wind, maybe as it moves through the trees. Even the smallest act can really help shift your focus and reduce stress. Remember, that's what we're here for. And something that I really like to do is some al fresco adventures. Now you're probably like, what, al fresco adventures. So maybe taking just once a week to dine outside, have your lunch. I've got my little patio set down there. Have your lunch, have your coffee on the balcony, enjoy a picnic, maybe take a snack to the park or sit on a bench and eat a little bit. Taking some time to incorporate your life, right? It's about finding what works for you. And so this is a simple step that you can do. And as we kind of recap last week and how this interacts, remember when we talked about sound healing and the benefit it has, try maybe even complementing these steps that we talked about today with some sound healing techniques from last week. Maybe begin your day with a morning tune that's outside. Immerse yourself in a sound bath that's maybe outside, or you're filled in a room with plants. Creating that calming playlist that maybe you're using as you take a nice stroll outside for an afternoon lunch walk, perhaps. I don't know. You got to figure out what works for you. I'm just here to provide access, to bring awareness to certain resources, different ways that you can incorporate mindfulness in your life. This month, we're talking about reducing stress. I'm super excited for next week. But nature really speaks to each of us in its own unique way. It has a whisper that is different for all of us and really can carry the heaviest of our burdens away. And by making sure that we spend time to connect with nature and make this a part of our daily, weekly lives, its healing touch has profound effects on how we show up in the world and how we connect and realize our interconnectedness with the universe and nature as a whole. So until next time, let the whispers of the natural world be your guide to you for peace and calm, and most importantly, resilience. Be well, keep nurturing your spirit, and thank you so much for joining me on this Mindful Monday. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to subscribe to more wellness insights. I love sharing this with you. Please share your feedback with me. Embrace the week ahead with an open heart and open mind. And next week, we are going to get into one I'm super excited about, like I said, plant medicine and how that can help you relieve stress. Bye.